When many people hear the name Africa, images of poverty, famine, and conflict appear on the screen of their minds. It is as if the sound of gunfire, the cries of children, and the heart-wrenching screams of ordinary people echo in their ears. But is that really the full reality? The truth is that while some African countries do face such hardships, there are also many African nations that are beautiful and peaceful. One such country is Kenya. If you visit Kenya, you can experience the roar of lions, sky-touching modern buildings, and the touch of millions of years of human history all in the same day. Kenya's official name is the Republic of Kenya. The country covers an area of 580,367 square kilometers, which is roughly equal to about 4 Bangladesh's. According to 2025 estimates, the population of Kenya was approximately 53,330,978, meaning that about 92 people live per square kilometer. The open homeland of wildlife. Kenya is one of the most exciting places on Earth and a true paradise for safari lovers. When, at sunrise, thousands of wildebeests and zebras run across the vast savanna grasslands, you may feel as if this is not the year 2026, but some ancient era of the world. About 8% of Kenya's land area is protected as national parks and forest reserves. Among them, Masai Mara, Amboseli, and Tsavo National Park are especially famous. As soon as you step onto Kenya's savanna grasslands, you can see Africa's mighty Big Five: the lion, leopard, elephant, rhinoceros, and buffalo. They roam freely here, while humans watch them from inside cages. By cages, of course, I mean safari vehicles. Long-necked giraffes wander around eating leaves from trees, cheetahs dash forward in pursuit of prey, and thousands of species of birds fill the skies. Every year from July to October, one of nature's most astonishing events can be seen here. Just as humans migrate from one country to another in search of livelihood, the animals here do something similar. Nearly 2 million wildebeests and zebras risk their lives crossing rivers and moving from Tanzania into Kenya. This phenomenon is known as the Great Migration. The Great Migration is not a deliberate journey for pleasure. It is a natural cycle of survival, a life and death struggle. Following the unspoken laws of nature, these animals travel thousands of kilometers. They mainly migrate for a few essential reasons. 1. Search for food and water. With the change of seasons, some regions suffer from severe drought. Grass dries up, and water sources disappear. For example, when drought begins in Tanzania's Serengeti region, millions of animals set out in search of green grass and fresh water, crossing into Kenya's Masai Mara. The rivers they cross are full of crocodiles, and during the crossing many animals die from crocodile attacks or from predators such as lions and cheetahs. Still, the herds continue to move toward the places where rain falls, grass grows, and water is available. 2. Reproduction and safe breeding. Many animals migrate in search of safe places to give birth or lay eggs, where the weather is favorable and the threat of predators is lower. Kenya's geography. Kenya is a country in East Africa. It shares land borders with Somalia, Ethiopia, South Sudan, Uganda, and Tanzania. To the east lies the Indian Ocean, and to the west is Lake Victoria. The capital of Kenya is Nairobi, which is one of East Africa's main economic and technological centers. Nairobi is often called the Silicon Savannah because it has developed one of the fastest-growing technology and startup ecosystems in East Africa. M-Pesa, a digital revolution. 19 years ago, in 2007, the world was not nearly as digitally advanced as it is today. In most countries, people still depended mainly on paper money and coins for transactions. At that time, very few people in Bangladesh could have imagined sending money from one phone to another. Yet Kenya had already made this possible by launching M-Pesa. The M stands for mobile, while Pesa is a Swahili word meaning money. Through M-Pesa, people can send, deposit, and withdraw money using a mobile phone, even without a bank account, simply through SMS. More than 90% of Kenya's adult population uses it. In many ways, it works like bKash, Nagad, or Rocket in Bangladesh, though those services came to Bangladesh only in 2011 or later. From this alone, one can understand that although Kenya is in Africa, it is far from being a backward country. Nairobi, a city of progress in contrast. In terms of infrastructure, Nairobi is developing rapidly, especially in modern expressways, high-rise buildings, and digital connectivity. However, the city also reflects sharp inequality. On one side there are luxurious residential towers, and on the other side vast slum areas. The cost of living in Nairobi is much lower than in Europe or America, but somewhat higher than in neighboring countries. Compared with Bangladesh, it may also feel a bit more expensive. Housing and good quality schools are particularly costly relative to local incomes. In terms of safety, Nairobi is a mixed city. Petty theft and pickpocketing are common risks. The more developed neighborhoods are generally quite safe, but one should be extremely cautious about walking alone at night or visiting certain slum areas, where the risk of mugging or theft is higher. If you ever visit Nairobi, you may notice cheap or second-hand clothing shops, budget food stalls, and small roadside stores. At times, it may remind you of Dhaka. Just as roadsides and tourist spots in Bangladesh or India often have stalls selling water, hats, inexpensive jewelry, bead-made items, and snacks, Kenya has similar scenes. And just as Bangladesh has tea stalls and roadside snack shops, Kenya too has its own street food culture. Roasted corn sold over charcoal fires is especially common, much like the corn sold on Bangladeshi footpaths. The traffic jams in busy urban life in Kenya may also feel surprisingly familiar. Kenyan people and everyday life. Kenyan people are generally cheerful, friendly, and fond of conversation. Bargaining is common in the markets. If you go shopping there, sellers may initially ask a higher price if they assume you are a foreigner. But if you smile and speak a few words in Swahili, they may warm up to you and lower the price, something that may remind Bangladeshis of their own culture of hospitality. Kenya's main form of public transport is the matatu, a kind of minibus or microbus. It is somewhat similar to local buses or lagunas in Bangladesh. Conductors often hang by the door calling for passengers, and drivers sometimes rush through traffic or bend traffic rules to pick up more riders. Religion in Kenya. According to the 2019 census, Kenya's religious composition was approximately 85.53% Christian, 10.86% Muslim, 1.6% atheist, 0.6% traditional beliefs, 1.33% other religions. Economy and income. According to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, 2026 data, Kenya's nominal GDP per capita is around $2,714, ranking it 148th in the world. Bangladesh's nominal GDP per capita, by comparison, is around $2,911, ranking 145th. In other words, based on nominal per capita income, Kenya is roughly as wealthy as Bangladesh, though slightly behind. Kenya's official currency is the Kenyan shilling. Around 100 Kenyan shillings is roughly equal to 95 Bangladeshi taka, meaning the two currencies are fairly close in value, with the Bangladeshi taka being slightly stronger. Tourism, a major economic pillar. Tourism is an extremely important sector of Kenya's economy. According to various estimates, tourism contributes around 7 to 8% of the country's GDP, both directly and indirectly. After remittances and agriculture, tourism is the third largest source of foreign currency for Kenya. Because of its safaris, wildlife, beaches, and natural beauty, millions of tourists visit Kenya every year. Corruption and peace rankings. According to the Corruption Perceptions Index 2025, Kenya scored 30, while Bangladesh scored 24. A higher score indicates a relatively less corrupt country. Kenya's slightly higher score suggests that it performs somewhat better than Bangladesh in this regard, though both countries still face serious corruption challenges. According to the Global Peace Index 2026, Kenya ranked 132nd, while Bangladesh ranked 117th. In this ranking, a lower number is better. This suggests that Bangladesh is somewhat ahead of Kenya in terms of overall peace, social stability, and security, although neither country belongs to the world's most peaceful nations. Language and colonial history. Kenya's official languages are English and Swahili. A Swahili phrase may look and sound like this: "We are people of one world." Kenya was under British colonial rule for a long time. In the 1950s, local Kenyans launched the Mau Mau movement, a bloody armed and political struggle against British rule. Eventually, after intense resistance, Kenya achieved full independence on December 12, 1963. A cradle of human history. Kenya is one of the key places connected to the origins of human history. In the Turkana region, fossils of early humans millions of years old have been discovered. One of the most important discoveries was the Turkana boy, a nearly complete skeleton found in 1984, estimated to be about 1.6 million years old. It has greatly helped scientists understand human evolution. Based on the skeleton, it was initially thought to belong to a male. However, since the individual had not yet reached adulthood, it remains uncertain whether the Turkana boy was biologically male or female. A 2018 study estimated that at the time of death, the Turkana boy was about 5 feet 1 inch tall and weighed approximately 51 to 54 kilograms. The Masai people. Kenya is still home to the Masai people, one of East Africa's most famous indigenous communities. They live mainly in the savanna regions of Kenya and Tanzania. Traditionally, they are semi-nomadic pastoralists who live by raising livestock. Today, many Masai also live in permanent villages and are increasingly involved in modern education and business. They are well known for their traditional red clothing, and their famous jumping dance, adumu, is one of the major attractions for tourists. The baobab tree. In Kenya, you can also see the famous baobab trees. These trees can live for thousands of years, and in some cases their trunks become astonishingly thick. When you look at them, they may seem like upside-down trees, as if their roots are growing upward into the sky. Happiness ranking. According to the World Happiness Report 2026, Kenya ranked 110th, while Bangladesh ranked 127th. Kenya is therefore considerably ahead of Bangladesh on this index. This suggests that, on average, Kenyans may feel relatively more satisfied with their social relationships, family bonds, life satisfaction, and mental well-being. Still, neither country ranks among the happiest in the world. Bangladeshis in Kenya. Yes, there are Bangladeshis living in Kenya, though not in very large numbers. Most of them live in Nairobi and the port city of Mombasa. Many Bangladeshis in Kenya are involved in business. Some run car showrooms, while others are engaged in textiles, grocery stores, hotels, restaurants, and small to medium-sized trade. A number of Bangladeshis have also invested in agriculture, fisheries, and pharmaceuticals. Diversity of the Kenyan people. Kenya's people are diverse, hardworking, and known for their hospitality. The country has more than 40 ethnic groups, resulting in significant diversity in language, culture, and lifestyle. While Nairobi and other major cities display modern urban life, many people in rural areas still depend on agriculture and livestock. Millions of Kenyans earn their livelihoods in tea, coffee, flower farming, and tourism. In recent years, technology, mobile banking, and small entrepreneurship have also grown rapidly. Kenyan people are generally accustomed to a family and community-centered way of life. Social bonds are very important to them. Sports, especially long-distance running, are almost a matter of national pride. Although Kenya faces challenges such as poverty, unemployment, and income inequality, many Kenyans are striving to improve their lives through education, business, and technology. Agriculture. The backbone of Kenya. The main driving force of Kenya's economy and daily life is agriculture. It contributes roughly 1/3 of the country's GDP, and around 70% of the population is connected to the agricultural sector in one way or another. Most of the country's farmers are small or marginal farmers who grow crops such as maize, potatoes, and beans to meet their own food needs. However, thanks to Kenya's fertile highlands and more modern farming methods, the country also exports high-quality black tea and a wide variety of fresh flowers across the world. In fact, Kenya is one of the world's leading